In this video, we spend the day with the Lufthansa A350 and its crew as it flies a very special service from Munich to Palma in Mallorca. We get exclusive access to the flight deck. We fly over the Alps. And we spend a lot of time in and around one of the finest aircraft ever built. Plus, we get beaten down by the Balearic sun. Just for a minute, though, before heading back to Germany. It's 7:30 a.m., and today's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be flying the A350 down to Palma in Mallorca, and then coming back on the 747-8. Lufthansa decided to run a series of Saturday flights, both out of Munich and Frankfurt to Palma on these wide bodies, so I thought, what better way to get to know what these planes are like, spend some time on the flight deck. Doesn't require going long haul either. You can do it as a day trip. It's a shame that I don't get to spend time in Mallorca this time, but maybe better not to do that in the midsummer height of tourist season in any case. So I'll go back there later. Probably not on a 747 or A350, but what can you do? Today we were invited to join the pre-flight briefings in Munich, which was simpler than usual for these pilots who normally fly long haul.
It's just short haul. It's not much wind, ist alles head on. Auch nichts Blödes. Also das spricht eigentlich auch hier für vorne. Enlarge it a little for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Okay, so nothing else? Flight time today on our very special flight is 1:50. Well, it's not sure about the landing runway, perhaps 1:45, but let's announce 1:50 to start with. Weather is fine, 30 degrees as expected, but unfortunately we have to leave again for Munich.
We start off with a little walk around to admire D-AIXM, or X-ray Mike. Okay, time to board this plane.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you.
How are you?
Of course, we need to do it again for social media.
All set?
We've got a jump seat in the flight deck for this one.
Okay, thank you, sir.
For an avgeek, there's probably no better seat.
Wissen wir noch nicht, aber das soll noch kurz. Die sind noch kurz eingestellt. Ja, wunderbar. Danke.
Zero from 1480 down to the line. Doors closed. Park and brake. Mobile off. Before start check is completed.
And I don't know about you, but I could sit and listen to ATC for hours, especially if I'm in a big jet while doing it.
Cessna 2658, roger, behind landing 321, short final line of runway 26 right behind.
Copy, crew, prepare for departure. Signal clear.
First Lufthansa 2658, wind 270 degrees, 6 knots, runway 26 right, clear for takeoff.
Lufthansa 2658, clear for takeoff, runway 26 right. On flex 68, this is runway auto thrust. Thrust set. Rotate.
Identified the entire seat flight number 150.
I flew A300, 310, 320, 330, 40, 50, 80, and to be honest, this is the best they did. The best cockpit, not only the cockpit, it's extremely efficient. The redundancy is extremely good. So I think it's also a good progress in flight safety. It's very responsive, direct on the controls, just the way you like it as a pilot.
The flight deck on the A350 is incredibly roomy and super modern, and it has some enormous windows which make for great views. Shortly after takeoff from Munich, the Alps come into view. It's always nice to see them from an airplane window, but another thing altogether, getting the panoramic vista from the front office. Another thing I loved was listening to the accents changing on the air traffic control. Very quickly we were hearing Italians, and then shortly after that, the Spanish.
Weißt du, wie es geht, oder? Ich bin viel. Hab mich immer rollen lassen.
Meanwhile, how about these lovely star-patterned seats in the flight deck?
The flight plan you could see here on the screen on the OIS. Do it a little closer here. We started there in Munich, then we passed the Alps, and this is our present position. So on the right-hand side there would be Milano, and Genoa coming up pretty soon, and then the Mediterranean. This is Course, and this is Palma de Mallorca. Flight time today, as we're doing a straight in, is 140. And luckily we are pretty light, so we choose through 430 as a cruising flight level.
Soon, we were approaching the island of Mallorca.
Muy buenas. Flight direct Charlie Delta Papa, Catepera. Initially level 200 for a descent 3 minutes.
Final, buenas tardes, Barco 96 al Palma.
Barco 96 al Palma, muy buenas. Continúe descenso para tener 1007 en curso.
¿97 o 96 al Palma?
Lufthansa 2658, it's an altitude 3000 feet. CRIL is 2, por favor.
Lufthansa 2658, descent 3000 feet, this is
Palma 96 al Palma. 4264,
Ja, da ist ein Flieger, der ist 3 Meilen vor uns. Das, was ich ja, das Gleitstop Star.
Hello, buenos días, Lufthansa 2658 Heavy, established to left. Lufthansa 2658 Heavy, hello, 659, no final for left, continue, number 3. Continue.
That's calm.
100 above. 300. Minimum 200.
It's okay. Power is low.
100. 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Smallest. Reverse speed. Descent.
Almost every member of the ground crew here stopped to take a photo or otherwise stare at this unusual visitor. And the Lufthansa group gave them plenty to look at on this day, with the 747 coming in from Frankfurt a little after us, and a Swiss 777 putting in an appearance too.
Cabin crew, wollte aus dem Fahren.
It's rare to get access to a plane after all the passengers have left, so how about a little walkthrough of the A350 cabin? this Lufthansa A350, although I didn't get to spend much time in the passenger cabin this flight, I'm checking it out now after we landed at Palma, and it's really nice actually. The color scheme in economy, I like these different blues. And maybe the highlight for me is this premium economy, where there's actually a lot of space. And I noticed that compared to the SAS A350, it's one less seat across. So definitely a more premium feeling in terms of width, nice and soft seats, plenty of room for the legs. I would definitely sit here for a long haul. Small cabin, and it's separated enough from economy. Doesn't really need more than that. It's actually a beautiful airplane. Of course, the A350 is almost always beautiful, but I really like the finishings, the fittings that Lufthansa's chosen for this one.
Then we had a final post-flight walk around with the captain in the blazing Balearic Island sun. And with that, it was time to leave this super modern Airbus and head over to the next event, the Boeing 747-8 back to Frankfurt. A very different experience, but no less thrilling. Make sure to subscribe and check back soon for the 747 flight and a few more special bits and pieces from our visit with Lufthansa. And let us know in the comments, if you had the choice, would you fly on the A350 or the 747? In Palma de Mallorca for Flight Radar 24, I'm Gabriel Lee.